Other side of the view, man. Week 6, man. Thank you guys all. We got Deb. We got a special guest today, man. I am excited. But before we introduce you, Don, do you mind if we give a round of applause for Deb? We were missing Deb last week. You want to talk about clutch, man? I felt like John Paxton last week with the old Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
I was hopefully I didn't ramble for y'all, but hopefully y'all got into that personal growth. Like, that was a good session. I actually learned some stuff about myself, so hopefully y'all picked up something. But today we got Don Hollis. Don Hollis, we'll let you introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. I'm Don Hollis. I grew up in Elmore, Ohio originally, which is 5 miles from here in Lindsay. And my wife and I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 39 years, and I worked for the Department of Defense from July 1986 until July 2016. And then we decided to move back up here in Northwest Ohio where we grew up.
Gotcha.
And bought a house in Lindsay and sold a house in Columbus.
Got you. What do you call Lindsay again?
I call this town Cute Little Lynn because I love it so much. I love this little town.
That's what's up. If you guys have never had a chance to really check out Lindsay, Ohio, it's real cool. It's right outside of Fremont, in between Elmore and Oak Harbor, Woodville. I guess it'd kind of be the Gibsonburg surrounding area. But yeah, really peaceful, really cool, really laid back.
Yep.
Loved it.
Population of 415.
415 people population.
Yep.
Is that here in Lindsay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And you know what? Maybe that's why. And I guess a quick backstory on Don, why Don's here today. Me and Don, for the last 3 years that we've had this Village Kitchen here in Lindsay, have had probably some of the oddest, but some of the most enlightening conversations I've probably ever had in my life. They've helped me to view things a different way, to hear things from a person that's been in different circumstances in life. Not to mention, again, we were saying earlier, you're an elder. So regardless, we're going to give you that time to speak. You know, the opportunity for us to listen. But you worked for the Defense Department?
For 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
So
Defense Logistics Agency.
Logistics.
Mm-hmm.
I love that word.
I was a procurement clerk, supply clerk, and a technical librarian.
Got you.
Because I moved up the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd agree if I was to say the ladder to success will not be climbing with their hands in their pocket?
Right.
Got you.
It won't.
I agree with
You
that.
have to earn everything in life. That's how life
For
is.
sure.
That's right.
So you worked for our country, you worked for the government.
That's it.
That's what's up.
That's it.
What do you think about this? All this going on, all this hoopla, all this Democrat, all this Republican, all this personal this, all this that.
I think that we are too divided. I think there's too much divisiveness in this country right now. With all the hate on Facebook and all the pro-Trump and anti-Trump people, we need to find a way to compromise, to get along like we used to. I'm 65 years old, and I remember when the Republicans and the Democrats could compromise. Congress could get something done. Now we've got so much hate on both sides, and the walls are up, and nobody will. It's either both sides think the other side is evil. It's either my way or the highway. It doesn't work. It could destroy our democracy.
And you coming from an era, like you said, the 60s, so you grew up through the 70s.
Yes, I did.
The hippie era. And
Yes, I did.
the free love, free world,
Yes, I
free
did.
order. Like, you got into that. Like, that's...
Yes, I did.
I feel like I'm a hippie at heart. I swear I should have been.
I talked to you about that.
Right?
Yes, really, really. I was a hippie for a long time.
I don't...
And then I grew up and worked for the Defense Department.
And that's like...
So,
that's left foot, right foot. Like,
yeah.
that's
really.
cat dog for real. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's two ends of the spectrum.
Completely. Those are like...
I know it.
That's far left, far right. Because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at, and again, me, I was born in '79, so I can't say I really experienced it. But to see the movies, or to read the articles, or to
Right.
Speak to the people that were around in that era and that time, I don't know if I'd have been a hippie, but I think I'd have leaned more on that end, just because I believe in structure. I don't believe in control.
Right.
I believe in control maybe above, in a higher power, in the sense maybe God.
I do too.
But as far as is in man controlling man, I don't really know if I'm real like on board with all that. Like for real.
Right.
Like if a person can't make their own decisions, that kind of takes away free will and choice.
It does.
And that, which is it's kind of overruling one of those things that we're given. This,
Even above, he doesn't control us like that.
No.
We still have free will
No.
to do whatever we
period. If we choose to walk through the woods, then we choose to walk through the woods. The path was there though.
want.
Yeah,
You took the scenic road.
Right, yeah.
we're
Don't get mad when you get bit by a tick.
yeah, we're free moral agents. We're free to make our own decisions. However, we know the consequences of bad decisions, and I've made some in my life because when I was younger, I was wild, and I should have gotten my college degree for one thing. I have 2 years of college in library science, couldn't afford to finish. And
Okay.
March of '81, Hal and I were poor church mites, so I decided, well, you go to work, and so I did.
Okay.
Period.
And
I remember you told me
Did
that
you
that
have-
was the shit.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you have kids when you made that decision?
No,
or just,
not
okay.
yet, not
Okay.
yet.
Were you talking about it?
Beginning to think about it, just beginning.
Mhm.
Our daughter was born January 18, 1986,
Okay.
Gotcha.
and our son was born July 9, 1990.
So how
Gotcha.
did you get into defense department? Was it?
I was working in a factory called Columbus Auto Parts, and I knew I was running a drill press, drawing out car door hinges. I knew they were going to be laying off in about a month, and I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Helen was going to a book discussion group in a suburb of Columbus called Gahanna, at the Gahanna Library, and she met a lady who worked there named Paula Waldron, who was part of the personnel organization at what was then Defense Construction Supply Center, DCSC. And Helen told her our situation because they got to become friends, and then she advised me to apply for a job there, and so I did.
Okay.
And because I'm visually impaired, I got into the handicap program
Okay.
and got hired on my first day was July 7th, 1986, working in contract files.
Wow.
That's cool.
You did all this again while you said being visually impaired,
Mhm.
which is dope.
I don't give up, but I'm believing it.
Period.
Never have.
Period.
Never have.
That's what's up. Fist pound on that dime.
I've been through a
Get
lot
it.
in my life. I've had a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities and a lot of wild experiences because my dad was a psychological and physical abuser. He had PTSD from World War II untreated.
Oh,
He
wow.
drank to cope. He was a mean drunk. And so me and my next youngest sister and my older sister had to put up with that when we were growing up. So we learned a lot from that experience. And then when I got older, I realized that, well, my dad always said everything has to be earned in life, and boy, was he right. But yeah, I grew up quick, and I have had a lot of crazy experiences and some bad ones too, but I made the most of them. I've overcome a lot of obstacles, and I continue to. That's just my nature,
That's what's up.
my personality.
And I think that's where we all need to get kind of back to. Like we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Just if you're paying attention to what you're doing in life, and you're struggling to get to where you're struggling to get to, you really don't have time to focus on the negative narrative in life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Whether it's press, whether it's the news, whether it's your own negative narrative, almost to get caught up in, to be honest. You don't have your neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
the people at Walmart, people at gymnastics. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna leave my personal issues and views out of it. Leave them out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the higher road.
Take the high road.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Be positive.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
man. But I think if we did that, we paid more attention to those, then maybe we wouldn't be such a divided. There we go. I don't want to say any other word. But divided country.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to that.
We've forgotten how to listen to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to know how to do that. We don't now. And it's dangerous. I'm worried about if we don't fix this, if it gets carried on and this hate just gets carried on, we could have a civil war in this country. I don't want that to happen.
I don't think anybody really, as far as the people, I don't think the people want that.
No, they don't.
For sure. I think we took a consensus in a poll and asked, hey, would you like to have a civil war next month? I think you'd have a lot of yes, no, and then maybe. I think there'd be a lot of no's.
Yeah.
No,
People
for sure.
would be like, I'm cool.
Sure.
Like, what do you mean? Like, oh no, everybody's shooting everybody.
Yeah.
Like we're just like almost, you don't even know who's what anymore.
That's true. That's
You've
true.
got that dynamic of what do they call us? I don't even know anymore. What are we called? Like us mixed people? What are we? Are we just POC, person of color? For the record, I can't stand that shit.
Actually, yeah, they say
For the
that,
record.
the initial how they said if you have a certain percentage, then you're just
That.
yeah. So
Got you.
yeah,
I found out I'm black.
I already knew you were.
Yeah,
You
I'm
said
black.
I found out.
I'm black. I'm only 25%, So the next time you go to the store and something's $1, make sure you only give them a quarter. Make sure you only give them a quarter.
You know what though?
Or if somebody owes you $1, they only got to pay you a quarter.
Everyone's like mixed with like I did my heritage, my ancestry thing. I got like Asian in me. And
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so we're
But
all.
it's the view of it.
It's just.
The nurse looked at me and she said it. And when she said it, I looked at her and I went, I don't know. And again, it was sarcastic where I said I'm black. It's sarcasm, 1,000%, because I got a lot of different stuff that are ethnicities in me. I can't just claim one and keep it pushing. I don't have that right. I don't have that luxury, actually. I will call it a luxury. I don't even have that luxury to be on one or other side of the fence. Right. We're the people that got to walk through in the middle in life with a bunch of question marks and people poking and asking shit. Somebody called me Arab one day, and I'm just like, really?
Wow.
Arab? They're like, yeah, you like a black Asian. I'd be like, what? Like, yeah, you like a Cuban Mexican. I mean, they be coming with the weirdest shit.
You could be an actor, though. You could
be
for a bunch of different races.
Yeah, it makes us up. But cool. I guess it's cool. But anyways, back to it.
I'm part German and part Irish. My dad was German ancestry. My mom had Irish in her.
And they didn't get along.
German and Irish, right?
You feel me? Like people, it's like they didn't get along.
No, they didn't.
I bet back in the day when they mixed it up, they were mad.
Yeah.
They're probably mad. Why are you over there with that man?
Yeah, exactly.
I bet. So, Don, me and you and Debbie, even like sometimes we kick it about like our current situation.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to, like we wrote down and again, we try to overview certain subjects. And so instead of jumping into policies, because again, there's so many of them, and they're so goofy, some of them, and then some of them I think are there for good reason. And the same thing with politics and procedure. If we just went into current situation where we've kind of been at, but it comes down to us. I think if we started to realize that we have power, period. We are the people. And it sounds corny as shit coming out of my mouth. I'll be 100% honest because it doesn't seem like that anymore. But look at the numbers.
That's how American democracy is supposed to work.
Every country. You are more than your government. People forget that. They need you.
They can't function with
we can't, you know what I mean? I almost threw my pen. It's like it's impossible to be in business and not understand that you have to serve people. You have to employ people. You don't have a business without a person.
And America is a business.
America is a big ass business.
It is.
And I think a lot of us don't understand that. I didn't learn that until I was 28, 29. I watched a little video and it was just, again, somebody yakking, saying what they thought. It was their view, and I appreciate it. I wish I could remember exactly who it was. But we are a big business, and our president is the president of that business. He's the face of that corporation, where it's like, hey, buy from us. Hey, build here. You want people to come here and build. You want people to come here and be doctors. You want people to come here and proceed in all kinds of trades. It's going to help America. Where me and Don were saying, we're a country of the best of the best of the best, meaning we have everything from every continent across the world here. But yet we still are unsatisfied, and we are still shitty, pissy people with people. Like, I don't understand how we be so poor in communication and actual carelessness, like to be careful or to be careless. I don't understand how this country, out of all countries, has like the worst rating in that when it comes down to communicating with one another.
I don't understand that.
We're still fighting about slavery.
We are.
That's ridiculous.
You know what about that though? I feel like I look at it as like a relationship. So like, say you have an issue in the relationship, or like any relationship. If you have an issue, you have to talk it through,
right?
Yeah.
To heal it. You can't just say, "Oh, well, it was the past. Shut up about it." Because I'm still hurt about this. Let me process it, and then I'll get over it.
A 9-year-old kid that realizes what happened in the 1600s going forward, like that would like mentally mess you up. If you, that's like a scary movie.
Yes, it is.
And at the same,
talk about it.
But it's got to be a conversation. Unfortunately, because it's still a situation. Like if it wasn't a situation, the conversation could have been in a book, and it could have been taught, and it could have just been a part of history, where a lot of countries have been oppressed. Slavery has been going on forever.
Yeah.
Forever. It's still going on currently now.
Yeah.
More than it was then as far as the sex trade. Let's just be honest. Like, that's become the new slavery. Sex trade. It's like human slavery is now people selling people all over the world from here or to here.
Yeah.
So
America still got their hands in the pot. That's why they don't want to talk about it. Because it'll expose a lot of shit.
That's right.
I never looked at it like that.
You're right.
And Chris, you know what I mean? My wife's got a view on that, and again, we don't all share the same views.
Right.
So, but that's where the conversation has to be had, the dialogue has to be there, to where if you're buying a human being, that costs a lot of money. So the lower class people can't be buying. I know we're not buying people. Middle class people ain't buying people. Who's buying people?
The rich.
Who's leading the country? So, I mean, these are these things. I mean, again, I don't get it, and I don't point fingers because again, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know them. I haven't seen. I can't say who's doing what. But I like to put things out there on the table and let the puzzle be put together by other people, even if that's the case.
Right.
You know, I was yakking with a buddy of mine. You know, one's an officer, one's a correction officer. So one's on the street, one's in the joint. We're talking about drugs and shakedowns and different things, and it's like, where do you think these things come from?
Right.
I said, why don't you guys just do random searches in the parking lot of the people that work here? And he just looked at me stupid, and I respect that you looked at me stupid, but at the same time, I'm not dumb. How's this get in here?
Yeah.
You're telling me you guys don't do that?
Yeah.
Let's just be real. Let's just be real about it.
True.
I don't like to be in the fiction and the life. Like, I got kids that like fairy tales. My son loves gummy bears. Like, I got all kinds of stuff that I can be watching and paying attention to that, not that's meaningless, but at least it's fiction and I don't got to think about it.
Yeah. My kids are grown, but they used to be the same way. And I understand that. Kids need fantasy.
I think they definitely need imagination.
They need fantasy. They do.
Most definitely. But I don't think we as adults, grown-ass human beings, 40 years old, I don't think I need Santa. No disrespect to anybody.
Right.
And I can say that on here because, again, I don't think there should be anybody really under 13 really watching this right now.
Me, who? Santa Claus?
Yeah. But because I don't want to wreck no kid's life that Santa wasn't real, because I run into this with a buddy and a friend of mine, him and his wife, and we were babysitting, and the kid asked me a question, and I'm an honest person, so the kid got the honest truth. Again, what do you think? That's what I asked him. I gave him his question. I gave him a question. What do you think? He's no. There you go. Thank you for being smart.
My fear on that is like because I've got one kid that does,
Gotcha.
and I'm not the parent that's like, oh yeah, like I'm kind
How old is?
She's 7.
7. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
So she understands that he's not real, but she wants the
to play the
imagination.
part
Yeah.
and to put it in.
and
Thank
the
you.
presents and
Cool.
the reindeer
Cool.
and the sway and
Yeah.
Rudolph
Yeah.
and all
She
that.
I just feel
Yeah,
very,
so I
I
give that
feel
to her.
espionage
Yeah.
and shit. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like super sneaky doing it. So for me, I just didn't. Like, I really never got into it.
I let them know the truth, but then if she still wants to, use her imagination with it, then okay, we'll do that. But my whole thing with it is, I really do not have a real issue with like letting my kids sit on some man's lap who's in a costume.
So you don't
Because
have an issue?
I do.
Oh,
People are
I know a lot of
perverts.
people have an issue with that.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I think mine was
don't know
less.
who you are.
Mine was even less to that. I think mine was more on a spiritual level.
Oh, mine
Mine
is
is deeply on a spiritual level. The spiritual level and then the parental level.
Yeah.
The way I looked at it, I was like this. You got somebody's mama and daddy, brother, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever it is, working stupid hard. Huh? Yeah, you want to flip it?
I can.
I think, if you can.
Go ahead, keep talking.
We're in the live, my bad, you guys. We're trying to flip this camera. I don't know why it keeps doing this.
Yeah, good question.
And I don't know if you can flip it that way.
You have to do the
The whole thing.
Oh, wait.
That's going to turn the camera all the way around on you.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll figure that out in a minute. You guys are watching this sideways. This is crazy. Let me see if I can figure this out. Nope. Maybe. You guys can keep talking so that I can figure this out.
Yeah. Well, go on, Deb.
We go back to, because we always get off topic. Let's go back to that.
We're great at that. We're great at getting off topic. We're good at coming back to it though, so we're not like poor.
I'm 65, And I remember the age of innocence, at least the tail end of it.
Mhm.
And I remember when you could go see Santa Claus as a little kid and nobody even thought about such things.
Period.
Right.
But now it's so, part of it's the moral decline of the society,
Mm-hmm.
and part of it is we just don't have any, so many people don't have any standards anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a travesty, it really is.
Yeah. I think it's, for, as a parent, like as a mother, it's scary to me.
Right.
It's still the same.
Is it still the same?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't even see it moving on here.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
don't either.
It might have changed.
When our daughter was 4, she was afraid to sit on Santa's lap.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. She was.
afraid.
I think that's a good thing. She's
Yeah.
like leery of people and understanding that no,
You still
there
doing
are
it?
some bad people.
That's right.
Right now, it's just pause.
Okay. Yeah, because it should have paused for a second.
Oh yeah, I can't see it then. I can't see it change.
Okay, yeah.
Alright. So what we'll do is we'll fix it. We'll edit the video later. I apologize to everybody that has to watch this sideways. Man, that's horrible. But again, in the land of imperfections, anything is possible. But no, I don't, again, for me, I think when it comes to Santa, I think it takes away from the parents that work real hard to do and
No,
give
that too.
their kids everything that they need to give, or not even need, and I think that's also the problem with the kids and nowadays.
Things they want.
Things that they
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
or they think they need to have
Right.
to secure whatever bond or whatever relationship, or I go hard for my kids. I get my kids everything they want and need. Get your kids everything they need, I believe, but to take away from the parents that work so hard to
Right.
get that stuff.
Somebody
Santa
had to
gets
work for this stuff.
Santa gets the gratitude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now you got ungrateful ass kids running around here entitled and want everything, and
Yep.
don't know how to work for anything,
Mhm.
but they get anything they want.
That's true.
On top of the fact, this is Christmas, which couldn't be without Christ in the name of, obviously, Christ
Right,
and
of course.
Christ and Miss
Of course.
Christmas. So there's no genuine, actual appreciation on that end either. So here we are now, just with Santa, some weird dude that you really don't want to put your kid on their lap. Toys that didn't come from the North Pole, made by people that sounds like child labor laws should be called in on all the elves. Like, that's bullshit. They should definitely lock Santa's ass up.
Yeah.
He sounds like a pimp.
Yeah.
Santa sounds like a pimp. Not to diss the original, I guess, the story of Saint Nicholas.
It's
Although
a lot to this.
That's a lot to take in. But
One thing I like about it though is it's a chance for people that have fantasy for a little while.
Yeah.
Because
That's-
the world is so hard and so cynical and so hopeless to a lot of people because they have the same old job they've always had, or they have no job, or they have to work 3 jobs even to make it,
Mhm.
and they need that brief, 3-week time in December to forget that for a while.
Yeah. That's why I can
We
appreciate
all
it
do.
for I can appreciate that my daughter does get into it like that because it gives her the opportunity to play on her imagination and
Mhm.
build that.
And to dream.
Mm-hmm.
To dream of what
Yeah.
Santa might do for her.
what's
I
Santa
mean-
gonna do for her though?
Well, I teach
Isn't that what about the crash? It's like the person on cocaine that thinks they can fly.
Well-
What happens when they realize when they jump off this building they can't fly? Now when they realize when they're 10, there ain't no Santa. Y'all been lying to that kid for 10 years.
No, I don't. I
Okay.
can't. No,
Not
my
you,
kids
in
know
general.
from. Oh, my kids know from I've always. There's no Santa. But if she wants to play on her imagination,
That's
I
all
let her.
I'm saying. Yes,
But yeah, I'm not
I'm
gonna
talking
lie
about the
to you.
other way around where
Yeah.
9 out of 10 it's, no, we're playing these roles. Santa's real.
Yeah.
Not that Santa's make believe. You're lying to these kids. And I
Yeah.
think that the trust issues cross there. I really believe that in life. That's one of the first lies we tell our kids.
Yeah.
We're literally, and it's cool. Again, imagine that there's purple elephants somewhere on the moon playing with donkeys that sleep next to unicorns. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they drink
Okay.
frog juice
Yeah.
that's made by Mr. Kermit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got an imagination. I'm
Made
40
of
years
green
old.
cheese and it's
Thank you.
And everybody knows
Doctor's green
it.
eggs and ham. Like,
Yeah.
nobody wants to take an imagination out of a kid. And I would say nobody wants to tell a person not to dream.
Mm-hmm.
But I live in a world of reality. These kids live in a world of reality.
Mm-hmm.
The system is a world of reality. It's systematic, it's problematic, but it's all reality.
Yeah.
These are realities. Like, if we don't get back to telling our kids the way things really are.
I think imagination and fantasy are a way of escaping. Because
Yes.
for me, I like to read a lot, or
Yeah.
love sleep because I love
Sleep's
dreaming,
awesome.
and I also daydream. So like
I do
in
that.
a way, we all escape this reality because it's necessary. Because
Oh yeah.
That building your imagination is good. I feel like people that have no imagination or have lost their sense of imagination completely are the ones that get like understand this
They get
reality,
what?
but they get downtrodden a lot. Like
Yes,
they
they
get
Most definitely.
They do.
Most
the
definitely.
pressure gets to them because they have no way to
It's
escape.
heavy.
Yeah,
And they get depressed, and
Yeah,
they get
yeah.
upset and anxious and worried all the time.
and then they turn to like different ways of
and
escape.
cynical. Totally cynical. There
That
are
is
too
very
many-
true.
There are too many people in the society now who are totally cynical about
Amen.
everything. That
Everything.
doesn't help anyone.
Right.
No, that's the
It's
shit
too
that
negative.
actually makes people turn against people.
It's too
100%. It's way too negative. That's, you know what? I think I see more cynical shit than racism, anyways. To be honest, way more cynicalness, way more
Yes.
classes. It's
Yes.
classes and cynical statements or looks and
Yep.
ways of things
Yep.
to make it
Definitely.
seem like you just dislike me, and it's just like, wow, I don't even know you
Mm-hmm.
That's
to
right.
dislike me. I haven't even spoken.
Yeah.
I've barely walked past you to even view you. Damn, like how is that even possible? See, and I come right back to that point. I gotta stay away from that one because that one's it's an open room.
Is that?
It's got a band-aid on it.
If
Right now.
some people look at you the wrong way, and they look at you like, "Ew, what the heck are you? I don't like you," and they can't. They have no
Okay.
basis
They
for
don't
that,
even
no
know.
reason
Zero.
at all. But because they're in a bad mood or had a bad day, or their boss made them mad, or their wife or their husband made them mad, they judge you, and that's
Yes.
not. They're not thinking. They're not thinking about the consequences of all that.
And that's where I think that people are the consequences. I think I am the consequence that day. If it's me that you looked at.
Mm.
I think I am your consequence, meaning verbally. I'm not gonna physically
Right.
do anything to you because I'm tired of going to jail for putting my hands on people. Period. I've learned that I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? It's
you learned
like
your lesson.
not even learn my lesson. It's not a lesson to learn. The lesson I learned was that if I touch you, I'm going to jail.
That's a lesson.
Yeah. That doesn't make me want to not do it because I'm going to jail. Really, totally. I look at it in a whole sense. It's okay. I should be able to use my words.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's the control within myself of staying in my
Have
square.
control. Folks.
You know what I mean?
Of it,
It's
yes.
it's the joy I get from at the end of it. It's like, ooh, I was able to stay in my square.
Yeah.
I didn't smack them.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
And
Right.
it's 99.99 paternity test. It's men. I don't think I've really ever sat there and just really wanted to smack women too many times. But to lend them a word that wasn't kind, just as much as their face, maybe you are the consequence to that person. No matter if it's race or if it's stature
yeah.
sometimes. Where I think sometimes we are too quiet. I'm not the person to say everybody revolt, go kill your master and fight. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, but it's just, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that's not me, myself personally. Me, myself personally, I'm on some for real, let's get along. But I'm also either let's get it along or let's get it on. Let's just get it over with. Like that's really where I'm at, I think, anymore in life.
Yeah.
Let's quit prolonging. We're all gonna fall out anyways, let's just fall out and get the fallout done with. And let's just start rebuilding from there. Otherwise, let's not keep sweeping shit up underneath carpets and acting like we're cleaning. Mama whoop your butt for that.
Well, that's
You know what I
true,
mean? Mama will get you
except-
for sweeping underneath the stove.
That's true, except that certain things, once they're brought out in the open, create hostility.
We can't be afraid of that anymore.
Yeah.
There's hostility anyways. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
It's
It's
gotta
gotta
happen.
get out. You cannot heal anything if you are afraid to talk about it.
Period.
Like
It's
if
gotta be a discussion.
Like if you got a wound and you keep covering it up, you won't show the doctor, you won't show anybody
Right.
else. How are you gonna heal it?
You won't clean it.
You won't clean
You
it.
don't
You're just
talk to
covering it up.
anybody. You don't
Yeah,
know
you're
how to do it
hiding
yourself.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's very true. Good
open
analogy.
up, and
Good
then
shit.
That's true.
Very good analogy.
You have to
That's
be
true.
open with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about it or whatever, however you heal it.
It's gotta get air.
But it's gotta
gotta get air.
air it out. Yes.
You gotta
Yes.
air it out. It's gotta get air.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like even with the cut, you
It's
can't
gotta
keep
get
a
air.
bandage on it all the time.
It will not heal
Air it
properly.
out.
You gotta air it out.
Yeah.
And it's the
Sometimes it has to
dialogue.
heal in the air.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
So when you put it out there, and you're gonna have people that aren't gonna like it, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
You're gonna have people that have been waiting for it though. I think that's the difference. Like again, not to bring him up, but for Trump, people were waiting for someone like him because of the transparency. White, black, brown doesn't matter. Like I know a lot of people of different color, different statures, different classes, different places in life that like and dislike him, and they all bar up on the same things. It's like, oh wow, okay, but they all understand that it was the transparency we needed.
We've all known that racism was going along. It was just being hidden. People were hiding it well. Well, Trump came along and people were like, oh, I don't have to hide it anymore.
Yes,
a lot of people.
for real,
and
for
so
real.
then they exposed
That's
themselves.
true.
Yeah, it just jumped out. It's just like,
And so we're like, I knew it. I
Yeah.
already knew it, but thank you.
That's
Thank
true.
him.
Because
really,
like being gay in the 50s wasn't like, it wasn't all out there. You couldn't do
Yeah.
that.
No, it was considered mental illness.
Now today you can run around and be gay. So it's where all these things are starting to just come out. It's where people are coming out of the closet. And it's just like, okay, cool. You're out of the closet. I didn't even know. I thought you were cool.
Right.
And then you find out that, no, we just don't vibe on that level. It'd be like, okay, are you a hateful person? Like, no, I just don't really mix it up with y'all. I'd be like, oh, well.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Oh, okay. Well, don't do that. You might not.
Well,
you're
no.
missing some stuff.
Right. I mean,
But
no, not that. I mean,
Oh.
like, you don't mix it up with them as in, like, you won't conversate with them anymore?
that's what I'm
Oh.
saying. No, I know
Oh, okay.
people that would like are literal. I know people in my life that are like, well, I have zero problem with you. I don't even know them, so I have no problem with them.
Right.
As far as in, do I want my son or daughter over there with them, like married? And no, I'd rather just stay over here
You know what?
and do our thing over here. And it's like, I respect that. If you're not kill them, hate them, you anybody, I don't care what nationality it is, meaning we're Americans nationally, but it's, and our meaning our nationality, but ethnicity wise, like,
Right.
if you don't hate those people for any reason, you just would rather keep your people like the way you are. I don't know, a lot of people don't agree with me,
That's
but
how I look at it.
I don't know.
I read something and it said, like, a homosexual person were raised by two heterosexual people, and
Okay.
they didn't,
No.
they're not heterosexual.
Uh-uh.
So how can a heterosexual person be around homosexual people and turn homosexual? Like, if you're homosexual, you're just gonna be homosexual.
I
You're-
think
being
that
around them isn't gonna change it.
I think that being gay is a genetic thing. I think it's in the genes, and if a person is going to be gay, that's why. I don't think it's conversion. I think they're born that way.
Yeah. But it'd be like,
Oh,
for
yeah.
me to sit here and say, and it just popped in my head, agree, 100%. I don't know if it's a science thing or not. I kind of stay out of the ring with that one. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I know that it's choice. If a person wants to be whatever they want to be, I think you got your choice. If you're born that way, you're born that way. I'm not here to debate it or negate it. If you're not born that way, you're not born that way. I don't really know enough about it to say, to speak intelligently, so I can't really do it. But looking at, again, if I looked at ethnicity, and it's like to say that, oh no, well, people of African descent shouldn't be together. People from Caucasian descent shouldn't be together. Like, Germans shouldn't marry Germans. No, they should go ahead and, if they want to marry Asians, they should marry Asians. Like, it's their choice. But I would think if a person wanted to strengthen where they were at and what they were doing where they were at, then they would probably stay and continue to multiply.
I've heard that mixes shouldn't race. Or
I've read that.
races shouldn't mix.
I've read it.
And I don't believe it. So I feel like
I don't either.
Okay, so I know someone who was raised that races shouldn't mix, and then they even tried to biblically explain this to this person that races shouldn't mix. And so they were raised that way, but in their heart they always wanted someone of the opposite race.
Yeah.
And then they ended up with someone of the opposite race because that's what they wanted.
That's
They
what
were
they
born
wanted.
that way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Could it be that they were pushed away from it to the points where they actually wanted
that
to do
too.
that because
So
of
yeah,
that?
that too.
makes
So when
sense.
I
That
look
makes
at people
The
who
rebel
say,
end?
because my sister's my oldest sister's sister is homosexual, and so her sister wanted to hang out with her daughter for like a week or something in like another state, and so she's always let her hang out with her, but then she found out that she was homosexual, and so a woman told her, a very religious woman told her, well, you shouldn't do that. That's like, playing with the devil. And I'm like, first of all, you're religious, so you shouldn't be talking about any human being and judging.
That's right.
But
That's right.
if you tell your daughter, no, she cannot go and hang out with her aunt because her aunt is homosexual, now, even if she's not your daughter will never be homosexual. Now she's gonna at least try it because you have now put in this. Every human has this rebel thing, and then like you said, I can't do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah.
Just because you said I can't.
Just because you said I can't. Yeah.
Just because you said I can't do it, and that I look at that. I would, me personally, I grew up in a homosexual household, and I'm not a homosexual.
Exactly.
It's just not, it wasn't what was in me again.
Right,
so for
right,
me,
right.
it just never has been me. But I don't down the people that do or choose or whatever. I guess
That's where I am. Helen and I have a very good friend. He's a male nurse. He works in OSU in Columbus, where Helen worked for all those years. His name is Jesse Noriega. He's very gay, and he's one of the best friends I've ever had. He's been up here to visit us and Lindsay, and we've gone over to his house multiple times when we live in Columbus. He lives on the east side. He would do anything for you. He'd give you the shirt off his back. And he grew up with his father being visually impaired, working in a factory. His father was almost blind, but he worked was able to work in a factory anyway. And I don't judge people because of their sexuality. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. I have never even thought about being gay. That's just not me. But anybody who wants to be, that's their business. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think it destroys the country.
You're stopping people from being who they truly are. You're repressing people because of your own opinion. Like for me personally, I will tell you, unless we're having a deep discussion and we're getting pointers from one another.
Right.
I don't really care what you do in your bedroom.
No, it's not my business.
It's not my business.
I really don't care to know.
I won't even tell you what I do in mine. So
most people
I don't care if you're homosexual.
Most people don't know. So guess what I did last night?
Right.
Yeah. Guess who I did last night? You're like, what? Wait a minute. Why did I? Hi, good morning.
Guess what positions we use?
Exactly. Yeah. You do that in high school, junior high.
Yeah.
Or maybe not junior high.
So for me, it's like when they force people to come out to like for me, like if any of my children ever decided that, you don't have to come and tell me that, because I'm not going to go and tell you, like, I don't go and tell my family, like, hey, this is the person I'm fucking, and this is how we fuck, and this is...
No.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
So why should another person have to come to their family and expose that? Nobody else does.
I think if my kid was a homosexual, I'd want him to tell me. I want him to be open about it.
I would too.
Yeah, but I don't think it should be like...
I would want him to know, be like, I love you still, I don't care. If that's what you do, that's what you do.
Yeah, so that he doesn't have to feel that.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're still my son.
Yeah.
You're still my daughter, no matter what.
That's right.
That's the only reason. And it wouldn't be like I feel like you have to come to me.
Right.
I would want you to feel like you could come to me.
Right. Yes.
Just because of the quote unquote norm, or just because of society says it's not, or it is, or it isn't. Like I said, the same thing with, again, I'm not against, I don't think I'm against interracial anything. But I think I can see the negatives and the positives in it. I think I can see the children that grow up that are actually interracial.
Yeah, because you've dealt with that. Yeah.
But we are not accepted on either side of that fence.
I think you are.
No
you
bullshit.
Don't think so?
Well, you're light skinned, everybody dark skinned. I can't stand that shit.
Okay.
Motherfucker got some nerves, for real. And again, we're always the sensitive ones. We're always the ones that do weird shit. But we're also the ones with a whole nother DNA strand running through us. We're hybrids.
You're a whole new race.
Hybrids. We're a whole new race.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of us though. And the thing is, a lot of them are misplaced, again, within their own self. Because it's an identity thing. You're dealing with a lot of ethnicities. You know that in Africa, all tribes in Africa don't vibe in Africa?
Right.
Do you know that in Europe, all people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Europe's a big ass country.
Yeah.
So everybody doesn't cross and mix because they look at it and be like, nah, it's going to be a lot of problems later on down the road.
Yeah.
Not now. Culturally, the way we do things might just be too different. Where when I look at if I look at anybody in this country, honestly, from another country that still sticks to their root, they're super strong. Asian community, super strong. Jewish community, super strong. Mexican community, super strong. Somali country, super strong. Cuban community, super strong. Jamaican community, super strong.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Polish people? I could look at Toledo, Polish village, it's all Polish. Obviously, it was called Polish village.
Yeah.
So when you go through life, and like Killer Mike said, the best time would have been right after the Civil War. If we were all looking, they said, make America great. When the fuck was America great? For who? who was it good for? It wasn't good for somebody oppressed. Let's just be honest. I got 6 minutes. I could tee off.
The rich.
It was the rich. So the people that came over here and were able to be the footnote, or the people, the first, the few raids of people that came over here and raided and got and ended up, which again, it's a process of living. It's a process of history. It's what happened.
Sure.
But here we are today talking about when it was let's make it great. When the
Let's
fuck?
make it
When
great,
was it?
period. Not great again.
Again, statement needs to be clipped, cut, and edited.
Yes, it does.
Because again would be, like he said, the best part he could see and the best part I can grade would be Civil War after it.
To me, that phrase means racism.
Mm-hmm.
It means misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
It means
Really?
I don't like other groups, so I'm going to shut them out.
Really?
I want America to be white only.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Really?
what that phrase means to me. Yes.
I've never heard a dude say that though.
Yeah,
You know?
I think
Is it an innuendo? Is
Yeah.
like type of a thing?
Let's make America great again. When was America ever great?
Yeah.
For who? For
For-
anybody of
And again,
for women,
Civil War.
anyone of color.
After the
when
Civil
was
War,
America ever great?
For handicapped
started
people,
like right there.
For-
yeah,
yes.
true
for gay
statement.
people,
True statement.
It was
or for
only
people who are different.
True
Yes.
Oh shit.
only
Then
for
the
the rich.
quote
You're
unquote,
right.
quote unquote
Oh,
white
God.
Christian mainstream.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you got a point.
and I'm a Christian myself, but I don't
You're a
believe.
white Christian.
I know. I don't believe
It's
in
different though.
excluding
It was,
people.
Yeah,
I
most
don't.
definitely, you're right.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really? Is it
So-
like that though? Is that that?
Period.
That's what
Though
that
it's,
phrase
it should be make
Oh,
America
God.
great, not again.
Again.
Because it was never great for certain people. It was great at
Yeah.
some point.
I think America was great, and again, only one thing that I've ever seen about America, to be honest, again, when I look at the wars that America's fought on land and off land, it's like,
In that way, sure.
yeah.
When was
But
how?
Deb and I are
Well,
talking
again,
about
using the Asians,
oppression.
using the Africans, using everybody that came over here, but when you look at, they defeated France, Spain, and England, and Great Britain. They beat
America-
Napoleon here.
America was great before settlers came over and took
Oh,
over the
most
land.
most
That's the
definitely.
only
No.
time America
No,
was great.
I'll never. No, America was
Before it was
definitely.
America.
But I
Mike.
look back, they had their beefs.
Have
All
you-
those tribes didn't link. They had their own little wars going
But they
on
got
here.
along though.
Have you
Oh.
ever heard? Have you ever heard of
Did they? All of them?
They were functioning. They were functioning well until the
yeah.
settlers came
True
over
story.
Yeah, they were.
and brought the plague.
Plague.
Have you ever heard of the Trail of Tears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those Native Americans were forced to walk to Oklahoma to the reservation
Yeah.
because so many of them died in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, we did some
And
shit.
and the European ancestry people made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we reaping the benefits of this? Why are we sitting here and we're cool with it? Why are we Americans right now?
Because this is the lot we were given in life.
This
This
is
is where we were.
Is this the hand where we're
This
giving
is the
the play?
hand we were dealt. Yeah, and so we have to make like for me, where I live, I am one of few black people there, and my kid, a black woman moved across the street. My kids were excited, and but the kids were some kids in their school. My daughter told one of her friends that my mom works at the post office. A young boy said, "Well, how come I don't see a lot of black people around here?" She got upset, but I told her, "Don't get upset. He really doesn't see a lot of black people
It
around
was
here."
just a statement. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
It's
statement.
question.
And so I told her, like, us being here will help a lot of people because some kids don't get to see black people. And
They
then
don't.
that's what helps breeds racism.
They
Sure.
don't.
Because a lot
They
of,
can't make a decision for themselves.
yeah, they
Yeah.
only, if you never see a black person and your parents tell you black people are animals, then you're going to believe black people are
Or
animals.
Mexicans are dirty.
Or Mexicans are dirty.
Yes,
You're going to
yes,
believe it.
yes.
But if you actually see some, you're like, oh, wait, my parents are fucking liar.
Yeah.
And
It's-
now I'm not a racist.
Thank you.
One of their friends told his daughter that he doesn't like black people. And I told my daughter, well, is she your friend? Yeah, she's my friend. Okay, then. Well, you just stopped a whole new generation of races in a family.
Period. Because
That's
you're not
right.
friends.
That's
Yeah.
That's why I talk to people. That's why I have conversations with people. And I said it to my mom last night. I do it, A, because I enjoy speaking to people. I am a people person. I'm
Mhm.
a personable person. I've
Me
always
too.
been like this. But I also, I do it because it makes, I hope, I pray, I swear to the Lord, I pray on my knees, hoping that it makes a difference.
It
When
does.
you end up being, someone was kind for absolutely no reason.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
it
Exactly.
didn't matter color. It didn't matter. I saw my wife last night, or today actually. Benevolence doesn't have a color. It doesn't have
No, it
a
doesn't.
gender. It could
It
be
doesn't
a
have
male or
a
a
gender.
woman.
It doesn't have a class
No.
structure. It doesn't have how much money you make,
No,
any of that.
benevolence is just
Kindness
again, the act of kindness.
It's
randomly
universal.
given.
It should be universal. Yes.
So I try to do it so that again, when that person goes home, for all I know, it could have been the person that they despise Mexicans or they despise Puerto Ricans or they despise brown. Again, it's the brown spectrum is like huge.
Yeah. Or black people. Yeah.
Or black, anything. That's why I said brown. Because
Yeah.
me again, if we didn't have the conversation, you don't know what I am for real. I just found out at 33, I'm 40. So, I just figured it out. So I know a lot of people can't. At that end of the night, though, I'm hoping that person goes home and is like, you know what? It can't be all for me now. Mm-hmm. It can't be all anything now. It's got to be individual encounter now. I don't like you. Mm-hmm. Now I don't like you all.
Mm-hmm. You just plant a seed and then it will grow eventually. But I feel like where we are in life is where we're supposed to be. Like me in the little town I live in is where I'm supposed to be until God says I can move.
Period.
But where we are in life is where we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then you just be you. And then just living your life, you are planting little seeds.
That's what we were saying the other day was if you're not planting them, if you're not planting seeds, you should be watering them.
Mm-hmm. Do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't walk around bitter and like angry
cynical
with
and
everyone.
hateful.
Yeah.
I grew up in Elmore, which is 5 miles from here, and I knew one black guy in my sophomore year biology 1 class. He was from Toledo. After sophomore year, he moved back to Toledo. Other than that, I didn't know any black people at all until I moved to Newport News, Virginia, where I lived in 1974 and 75. I made all kinds of black friends down there. And then when Helen and I moved to Columbus, I made all kinds of black friends in Columbus too, because I see people as people. I don't see race as a determinant factor. I never have. I just don't.
That's why I like living in these small towns, because some kids never see a black person.
True.
Ever.
True.
And then whatever their parents teach them is what they go with. So me
versus seeing it and knowing it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
It's interesting because
makes sense.
My dad fought in World War II. He was in Battle of Bulge and all that stuff. He was in the army in Europe. He was a tank gunner. And because of that and what he went through, he wasn't a racist, but my mom was.
Okay.
My mom was a racist. Yes.
I had that conversation with my ex. I told him, I said, sometimes it's more so the women than the guys. And he said, no, it's more guys. I said, no. I said, it's usually the women against the men and the women. Men maybe against the men, but not really against the women.
No, you don't see it as much men and women.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
You see it less on children either way.
Yeah, I've met a lot of racist guys who were attracted to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of chicks that were, like, again, their family was racist. They were beyond or close to it, and they could care less. Mm-hmm. They were cool with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, I hope it changes again of you, hopefully. Yeah. We'll wrap this up. Don Hollis. Dude, handshake. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh, no problem.
It was awesome. I'm glad we got to have you in here again.
Yeah, watch it back.
Definitely. We got to go back and look at all the cool things and then piece and point and bring them back to another episode. Yeah, man.
We went off topic a lot.
When I was working in Columbus from, let's see, when did she?
Yeah.
Had a black supervisor named Josie Bates from
Oh, that's cool.
2000 until 2000.
Josie Bates.
2008, I think it was, when Karen Hutchinson took over. She was a white lady. She retired like 2 years after I did. And Josie was great, and we had a lot of good.
You guys have a good one. Thanks, Dev.
You too. Thanks, Deb.